dark lips.
It's
Not
also
sure.
like, I love that color on you.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay,
Good
can
eyes,
someone check YouTube and see if it's working for them? I'm gonna send the link in the chat right now.
I can't remember how I switched through accounts.
Is it good?
I'm trying to figure out how oh, here we go. Yeah, I just heard Deb say dark lips, so it's live for sure.
Awesome.
I mean, I think we could turn it off until a couple minutes before. I just wanted to make sure it was working because last time. Rish,
Yeah.
can you please share the deck with me so that I get the names of all the teams?
Yep.
And then I just copy paste it.
Let me send that over.
Thank you, kiddo. Okay, yeah, it is live. Cool.
Yeah, I just heard Deb say dark lips, so it's live.
There you go. Okay. Clearly we're live. Oh boy. Yeah. Thanks. Cool.
I have a feeling we might be ahead of schedule today.
Good.
Yeah.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
Very good. Hello, Ryan. See, it's like just before 9 there. How are you feeling today?
Fabulous.
Just getting the day started.
Just started my day. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna go make a coffee real quick.
Okay. Yeah, we just wanted to get on early to make sure the tech was working. So I'm gonna pop off to the bathroom real quick and I'll be right back. Right. Hey, Ryan. So just today, interestingly, I met this founder from Turkey, and he also has like, I think, pricing automation, something of that sort. And my app on Shopify helps automate like your store updates and your automate. And he has a collective of sorts, and they call each other automates, like, you know, like in a very corny way. So they have their own like webinar series that they do with each other, and they call each other automates or something like that. It was quite funny. I was just checking out Mesa, and I was like, oh, okay, automation. There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot in the space of automation. It seems like it's growing. You know, Shopify makes the concept very popular, but it's still very exclusive to just Plus. So I think there's a lot of merchants and developers just in the space trying to make sense of, you know, what they can do for merchants looking to just sort of streamline some things.
Yeah. What's been your experience in terms of like, have you seen younger teams use at all or not at all, or are they like thinking of it more as like productivity uplift rather than like really having impact on revenue?
I think people discover automation for a lot of different reasons. There's like a group of people out there that think of starting their business, you know, with automation in mind from the start, right? And then there's probably another group of people that only discover the concept of automation because they woke up one morning and their business was on fire and they needed to figure out how to, you know, very cleverly find a solution forward. So it sort of depends like where you're at with your business and what your the problem you're trying to solve. Because like no one, like I was talking to Blair the other day about this. No one wakes up and says like, I'm going to build workflows today. Right. So it sort of just depends where you're at with your business and yeah, the problems that you're sort of facing. I mean, Mesa in particular caters to more of sort of that growing enterprise business on Shopify. we certainly have pricing attractive for the do-it-yourselfers.
Yeah.
But I think the people that find the most success with automation are just those that are really just trying to first solve their first and foremost, like the hottest problem that they have. And then from there, it's like, oh, there's this whole other world exposed to me now. And sort of they're starting to learn what they can do with it now. So
Interesting.
yeah.
When we started out, we didn't have automation, and it just started trickling in from the customers that, hey, like, so what Mode Magic, the app that we have on the App Store, helps you do is essentially dump out, your product callouts and highlights and animated badges and all of that. So and then all of a sudden, I think last year on BFCM, a horde of customers started saying, like, why don't you have automation yet? Because I'm not going to update all those callouts manually every single day, and especially when I'm running such a large sale. And then we got it live just as a beta. Wow, like we were quite surprised. And that's where I think my mental model broke a little, Ryan, is that I initially see a bunch of even younger teams just get onto our base tier and use like 2 basic automations, like out of the box, and they use it. And then you're right, like when they have those, hey, and now I want to get into more complicated use cases, and then I want to like club 2 or 3 different automations and how they play together, etc. That's when they're like moving on to, like these are the larger teams. These are definitely not the 500K a year teams at all.
Yeah, I think generally, I think generally, like the growing Shopify businesses are typically younger teams. Even within the bigger businesses that are moving to Shopify is like it's just the headless solution for their online store. The people managing the Shopify online store are typically younger teams, even within businesses that are very sort of older or veteran or so I think you'll at least we see that it's very much more skewed towards a younger demographic, and I feel like those folks just sort of get it. They just expect technology to work that way, and when it doesn't, they just sort of question the solution as a whole. I guess it's not surprising you're seeing that too.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting thing. What you're just telling me is like making me think a little bit that, it could be established like large retail, so-called large, I mean, whatever, mid-market maybe, but they could be actually a very tiny e-commerce presence, right? New e-commerce presence. Yeah. I got to check that now.
It's hard to, that's data. That's difficult data to get though, unfortunately. Like there's a lot of ways to go about it. Just customer survey. I mean, Google Analytics has some of that, but I don't know how much you can really trust it, unfortunately. So, going about just surveys and try to run some personas and demographic reports will help you. But
I'll keep you posted.
It's worth figuring out, I think.
For sure. Like I'm literally like bookmarking it right now, right after this call. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to rabbit hole into finding out about it. I'll keep you posted.
Nice. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Ash.
How's it going?
All good. How about you? All set?
Yeah.
Man, Team ShopPad representing. I like it.
Yeah, here we go. I have my Mesa shirt on though. I feel bad.
Advertising.
Hey, Andrew, how's vacation?
Andrew.
Hey guys, not too bad, not too bad. Hopefully the connection holds up. There's a big thunderstorm due any minute, so
amazing.
Looks like it's pretty good right now, at least. Hopefully we can get you done and out of the way before the storm hits.
Lovely.
Hi,
yeah, it's
Jill.
been pretty crazy.
Hey. I think we'll just give it like minutes for everyone to get in and get started.
Yeah.
You all came prepared with your decks, right? You all have well-prepared slides. Okay,
30,
good.
40 slides ready to roll.
Amazing. I'm
Just
so
what you
excited.
wanted, right?
Yes, definitely.
That's exactly what she wanted, Jill.
Yeah.
Let me go out a few more slides just to make sure that I can fill the full, 15, 20 minutes.
Follow directions well.
Round it up to 100.
Oh yeah, you're gonna
Go
talk
big or
for
go
like
home.
2 hours, right?
Oh my gosh. Anything for you, Deb?
Panicking because I'm locked out of Twitter right now and I don't know what the heck is going on. Over here like
Wait,
frantic.
how come?
I don't know. I'm like screamed at you. A little aggressive. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Did they like message you, or you like, is your account suspended? Do you know what's
I
happening? Or
have no idea. It's a little scary. It's a crisis situation.
oh no.
Okay, I need to turn this off. Sorry.
Okay, everybody, we're just going to give another minute or two to let more people show up, and then we will kick things off. Okay, we're going to give one more minute here and then get started.
It's fun seeing everybody in the same room. For anybody that's joining us for the first time, feel free to add your company and URL to the chat so we can check you out.
Okay, why don't we get started? This feels like as good a time as any. Everybody, my name is Blair. I am Director of Partnerships at Tido. Before this, I spent a number of years leading the Shopify App Store team. And so super pumped to be able to bring a bunch of app partners here together along with the rest of the organizing team. Thanks for joining us. This is the final edition of the App Collective webinar series. This App Collective webinar series, I should say. We're planning on doing more and more in the future, including an ebook after this, compiling a bunch of thoughts from the speakers, as well as I believe some non-speakers, helping brands figure out everything they need to do to get ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, hot takes, cold takes. We will have it all. So look out for that as well. The App Collective was started with two things in mind. Number one, we felt like there was way too many apps in the App Store for any individual merchant or brand to understand them all on their own. And webinars were super boring with lots of decks, low information density, and lots of things that you don't care about. So we thought we would bring together some of what we think are the best solutions in the space to just, rather than show you a deck, talk about their solution, walk through the problem and the solution through kind of more of a storytelling approach and get you into the product to see what everything's about. Today, we're going to be talking about transforming checkout flows with fresh shipping and fulfillment strategies. The most exciting part of e-commerce, I think we can all agree, shipping, fulfillment, logistics, but these solutions are really great and make things more exciting. We're called a collective because we work together. Everybody that's here speaking today is here because we think they're really great. There's no financial component of this, and we work together to bring together our audiences. So we hope to have a good time. We're not going to be doing live Q&A officially in between speakers, but please feel free, whether you're listening on Zoom or YouTube, to pop questions into the chat there or in our Discord as well. Great idea to join our Discord. We're going to keep that going after this webinar series. So it's a great place to keep up with all the various activities that we're going to be doing, as well as talk to partners, talk to brands, and help each other out. First up today, we are going to be speaking with Andrew from Zapiet. Zapiet's a company that has been around for years, but I think is like very of the moment right now. I'm sure Andrew can tell us lots of stories about his time earlier this year. Zapiet is one of, if not the leading solutions for in-store pickup for Shopify brands. So obviously an incredibly topical topic. As brands tried to figure out what life during COVID looked like, they played a big role in, honestly, frankly, like saving a lot of businesses who may not have been able to scramble to put together in-store pickup for themselves. I myself helped a friend with a restaurant turn their restaurant supply into like a grocery store in a pinch and figure out what in-store pickup looked like for them, and Zapiet was a part of that. So Andrew, excited to have you here today. Take it away.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. So I'm Andrew, the founder and technical lead at Zapiet. So I'm good at making apps, not so good at talking in public. So please bear with me. I get nervous. So I founded Zapiet back in 2015 with the aim of providing Shopify merchants with some form of in-store pickup functionality. Back then, that kind of wasn't a solution. The only option on the forums or from the Shopify docs was to add a free shipping rate, which would automatically appear at the top of your shipping rates list in the checkout. And that would appear whether the customer was actually wanting nationwide shipping, local delivery, or pickup. And this could lead to merchants losing out on money there, having to contact the customers to kind of reclaim the lost shipping charges or kind of just saturate it themselves. There was also no way of the customer selecting which bricks and mortar store they wanted to pick up in. You could maybe add multiple free store pickup rates with different location names, but then it became really messy in the checkout and just confused your shipping customers. There was also no way of customers specifying a date for pickup. And so certainly for the fresh produce merchants, like those like bakeries or florists or I guess the raw dog food kind of companies of the world now, there was no way of them kind of controlling how many orders were coming in, for what time, if they needed preparation time to create these kind of fresh products. There was just no option to kind of do that. It was a lot of emails after the order had been placed. And then maybe the customers were expecting to receive their order the next day, where realistically the products needed 2 or 3 days preparation time to prepare before they could pick them up. So I guess I kind of set around on my personal mission to solve that. And I worked with a bunch of Shopify merchants on the Shopify forums. The posts are still there, about, I don't know, 12, 15 pages deep now. And I managed to reiterate on the idea and come up with a solution pretty quickly. It then took about 30 days to then take it from some crummy pieces of JavaScript and a bit of liquid code into then the first version of the product. As soon as I got it live, it then quickly became apparent that merchants that were offering in-store pickup also wanted to offer some kind of local delivery option as well. And so that's when store pickup and delivery was born. So over the coming years, pickup and deliveries continued to grow nice and steadily. And then obviously March 2020 happened, and then things went crazy. We saw our entire year's expected worth of growth within the first 10 days. We had a call from Shopify asking us, can we help, merchants on the scale to kind of adopt this? Obviously, Shopify were wanting to help their merchants to which is the best solution for this. And at the time, we were I guess more or less the only viable solution store, only viable solution on the App Store still, for particularly what we do. So yeah, so then things just exploded, and then we continue to grow the business now. We now offer 24/7 support, round the clock, live chat, telephone, all of the stuff that we think merchants find super useful. So yeah, we're just super grateful that we was in the right place at the right time to be able to kind of help merchants. It's a tough year for everybody, and still continuing to prove so. We're still seeing rapid growth in Australia, where the lockdowns are still taking place. And yeah, I think that's it on the history. I hope I got that out. And so now I guess I'll go on to, if I can share my screen, I can. There's no deck steps, don't worry. Here we are. So our app kind of consists of 2 widgets and then a merchant portal. So this is, I guess, our primary widget, which is located on the shopping cart page. And this is totally flexible and customizable per store. So color schemes, which options are available. On our demo store here, we have nationwide shipping with a date picker, available local delivery, where the merchant can specify which zip codes, or people can type in the full address, and then we'll figure out, okay, yes, we deliver to you, no, we can't, and then display dates and times available at that specific location that are allowed. And then with store pickup, my connection works. We have the kind of what you would expect now is the map of the pickup locations. They can enter their zip code. It will sort them by the closest one to them. It connects into Shopify inventory to make sure that each location has the stock available. So merchants don't need to worry about that. And again, date and time picker. The date and time pickers are super useful for when it comes to Black Friday. When it comes to like product limits, again, for the fresh produce people, like the bakeries, and for Thanksgiving and stuff, if you only want to sell so many of one product on one specific date, then you can do that using kind of our functionality. So let me get to, so the second widget we have is what we call the delivery validation widget, which is a store-wide kind of banner that appears at the top of the store. You enter your zip code, and then it will simply tell you, yes, we deliver to your area, or no, we don't. And this again is totally flexible, where we have an open API that merchants quite often will use it to create custom kind of interfaces here. If it says they don't offer delivery, then it will redirect them to a page that says, hey, we're coming soon to your area. Why don't you try pickup or our nationwide delivery? We'll get to the next page. So this is what the dashboard looks like for the merchants. We try to keep it, I guess, as simple as possible. Obviously, merchants super busy. We list everything by the date of the pickup or delivery. They can select multiple orders and administrate them in bulk, mark as dispatch, ready for pickup. When an order comes in, we can automatically email individual bricks and mortar store locations a copy of the order confirmation, so they know exactly what products and stuff need to be prepared. Again, we got integrations with some of the biggest apps on the App Store to make it super easy for merchants, not having to kind of, I guess, go back and forward between app developers saying, oh, do you have compatibility with this, with that? We try to connect into everything that we can. And so here's just, I've got this Zoom bar in the top where I can't see what I'm clicking on, tabs. So I just wanted to give, I guess, some real world examples of merchants using us in different ways. So Bang Cookies is a store in the States. They do nationwide shipping, local delivery, and store pickup, but they have certain products that they'll do nationwide shipping on, and then others that they just do local delivery and store pickup. And again, they have minimum order values set. So again, shipping, they here, I think it's a $35 minimum value that they have. So shipping only becomes available when they have over that limit in the cart. And again, with local delivery, and then they have their pickup options with date and time. So who else have we got? Again, another cupcake one. Again, these guys don't offer nationwide shipping, but do pickup and delivery. They customize it with some kind of different colors. They use our product limits, slot limits. So they limit the maximum of deliveries per day. And then they also connect on with a third-party local delivery company that's all built straight into our app to make it super easy for them. And the last example is Florist, which again, they have all 3 options available there. So I think when it comes to Black Friday, the important stuff to know about our app, as I was saying, was kind of the ability to limit the number of pickups and deliveries per day. So it's as simple as coming into the location, enabling slot limits, and then setting how many you want to sell per day and click and save. And then we'll make sure as soon as you've sold that amount in that day, we'll black out that day and customers can no longer select it. The same applies to delivery and nationwide shipping. Just make sure the merchants don't get oversaturated with orders, and make sure the customers know, I guess, a more realistic time for when they can pick up or have their order delivered to them. We're also able to restrict orders, I guess, for how far in the future. This becomes even more important, I guess, over the Christmas time, where they want to kind of restrict orders after the 24th. Maybe some stores close down for a couple of weeks there. We can prevent that from happening. And again, blackout dates is a super popular feature. If you're closed on Thanksgiving or Christmas Day, that kind of thing, you can easily add the dates, and then it will stop customers from being able to select them. Yes, so we also go down into product restrictions, pickup preparation time. There's all kind of sorts of lovely stuff here. Yeah, I'm rambling on. Don't know how much time I got left. Yeah, but I think that's
plenty of time, Andrew.
We'll give you a few minute timer. Don't worry, you're fine. You're doing good.
Okay. So yeah, so it's I guess that's the scheduling side of things is what's super important for Black Friday. It's just making sure that your customers know what to expect and when to expect their products. And from you as a merchant's point of view is to make sure that you're not super overwhelmed with too many orders on one particular day, to try and spread that out as best as you can. Certainly for the smaller retailers where maybe you don't have a large team and can't just sell unlimited kind of stock. So that was I guess my main points for the Black Friday sales, but I could go into more features if you wanted to.
Show us more.
Okay, so I guess one of our key features is our rates. We do something like the rates kind of section of Shopify is I guess fairly restrictive when it comes to the native integrations. I know we've got guys from other rate generating apps that do a great job, but via the carrier service API, and that's how we interact with things. But we're able to only show the store pickup rate when store pickup selected, only delivery and delivery selected, and shipping again. It's again to solve that problem of customers selecting the wrong price and then the merchant having to go back to them and say, oh, please, can you pay the difference, or taking it on board themselves. We integrate with as all of the major couriers and the other major kind of Shopify apps like Advanced Shipping Rules, Bespoke Shipping, our own apps, Delivery by Distance, Zip Code, Intuitive Shipping. And we've tried to make it super easy. So if a merchant has their own carrier service that's not maybe public on the App Store, it's not an actual Shopify app, it's just something custom they've had done behind the scenes, we make it super easy for them to be able to integrate directly with us. And they use us as a proxy to make sure, again, that only the correct rates are shown in the checkout. So one other thing that's super cool is our last mile delivery integrations. So we have a ton of these. We launched the last mile delivery API about, I don't know, November last year. And what this has done is, rather than, I guess, the guys like Roadie, Axel Hire, Track City, and whoever else, they no longer need to build their own Shopify apps. They can quickly integrate with us within a couple of hours. And then from the merchant's point of view, we're able to then push orders directly through from Shopify directly into Roadie or whoever else, and they'll fulfill the actual order, do the physical work, and all the statuses and everything synchronized straight back into Shopify via store pickup and delivery. So we try to make, again, that super seamless as possible. And we've got coverage in all kinds of countries and regions now. It's not just the US or Canada. We've got in Singapore, Australia, the UK, Germany, France. It's really taken off, and it's definitely something we found super valuable for merchants. And again, they're really happy to not have to configure yet another app. They can just put their API key in from Roadie, and off they go. The orders just flow through seamlessly. What else?
You've got 2 minutes, Andrew,
okay,
but you don't have to use it.
I got one last thing. I totally forgot about this. One big thing that we just launched like 2 weeks ago, we're now Online Store 2.0 compatible. So unlike previously with apps similar to ours, we would have to inject code directly into your theme when you install the app. And obviously, whilst you're shopping around for apps, maybe you like our app, maybe you don't, or you're trying our competitors, which is obviously fine. But we didn't have a way to remove the code when you installed, and that obviously made it super hard for merchants to easily test different apps. But yeah, we're now Online Store 2.0 compatible, which means you can install, you can preview via the customized theme settings, and as soon as you remove our app, everything's cleared off. So it's a super safe way to kind of give our app a try and see if it's the right fit for you. So I think that's it. That's a good note to end on.
Incredible, Andrew. That was great. I think with COVID, like obviously lots of merchants wanted this. You were started way before COVID. What do you hear from brands that are thinking about what in-store pickup looks like once this pandemic resolves itself?
Sure. So I guess it's interesting coming from the UK. In-store pickup has been around and a super popular option for many years now. And I guess that's why it was kind of ahead of the curve. But now it's with the restaurants, we can see that actually curbside pickup for restaurants or for like places like Target and the big box stores, anybody and everybody, it's kind of just ever more an expected thing for merchants to be providing. I guess we're at where I expected us to be in 2 or 3 years time, but we got there rapidly, last year. And I just think it's becoming an ever more expected thing. It's just super convenient for everybody involved, for the merchant, for the customer. And, now with products like ours, it's hopefully super easy for merchants to get set up and running with.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we don't really do a lot of in-store pickup in Canada until the pandemic. I hadn't done in-store pickup until March of last year. And now I haven't been to a grocery store in a year and a half. It's been incredible. And a lot of smaller brands too, getting on the train is super, super exciting. Andrew, thanks so much to all of our viewers. If you withheld your questions, Andrew will be in the Discord going forward. So feel free to throw any questions in there and we'll make sure that you get answers. Incredible. Okay, next speaker. Next up, we have Rev from Shipping Chimp. Shipping Chimp is a really cool solution. I know there are lots of areas of online stores that are often neglected. Oh, Andrew, I think you're still sharing your screen. There we go. That's better. There are many areas of an online store that are often neglected, and the shipping confirmation and order tracking screen is a big one of those. Shipping Chimp is a great solution for allowing you to rebrand that screen, throw additional information in there, and turn kind of your shipping confirmation and order tracking page into a profit center. We're super excited to have Rev fill us in on Shipping Chimp, and take it away, Rev.
Hey guys, Jagan from Shipping Chimp here. I think Revit is disconnected due to some internet issues. So I could share my screen, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, so Shipping Chimp, what we basically try to help our e-commerce merchants in general, like we all as a customers, we have ordered from multiple stores, even from Amazon or from multiple e-commerce brands too, but we never reached out to Amazon to know where's the order status. Hey guys, where's my order? Because like we know that Amazon is showing the delivery status right there instantly in their tracking page itself. So we never reached out to them to know about the order status. But unlike that, like if you take any other D2C e-commerce brand, most of the time they get a lot of queries on, hey guys, like what is my order? FedEx says it's held at some facility. What happens with my order? All those things. Even Gorgias confirmed that recently, saying that 40% of the support ticket every other e-commerce business is receiving is related to order status queries. So which means increased customer support efforts. And the moment a customer is reaching out to a customer support team and asking for where is my order, which means that customer is totally pissed off, right? So you are not going to get the customer back again. So this is going to hit their customer lifetime value drastically. That is where Shipping comes in. So we integrate with Shopify directly to get the order status and fulfillment status from there. And also we have our own direct integration with majority of the shipping carriers like FedEx, UPS, and DHL to track the packages in real time. So at any point of time, our system will be a real-time up-to-date information of like customer order and logistic information. So by using our system, you can do two things. One is you can provide a branded order tracking page just like this. So this is our branded order tracking page. You can customize this page with your own templates, and it could be matching with your own website theme. The benefit of this is, say, for example, when we order a product, we usually visit like at least 2 to 3 times to the order tracking page. Right now, the merchants are sending customers to Canada Post or FedEx or UPS website to track a package. But if you have your own order tracking page, which means that you are getting more traffic back to your own order tracking pages, which means 2x more traffic to your own branded content, right? So you could upsell and cross-sell use on your order tracking page itself. For example, I could put a tracking number here. So this is an example. So when a customer enters the order tracking number or order number here, they could be able to see everything here without going to the USPS website, and they get to know what's the product they ordered and what's the related product to that as well. So this content, we have recently noticed that 30% of people who visit order tracking pages click on this product recommendation. So that is no-brainer activity, like we directly fetch the product recommendation from Shopify. So you don't need to do any hard coding effort. The merchant don't need to do any hard coding efforts to show product recommendations here. Either we can integrate with Shopify to pull out related SKUs from Shopify, or otherwise you can integrate with platforms like Nostro or other product recommendations tools to get the product recommendation. And the next important thing is, like, as I said, like right now, say if a customer support team is receiving an email to return an order. So usually the return window is defined from the delivery date. Hey, 30 days from the delivery date, something like that. So, but the delivery date is usually not available within Shopify, or not available within their CRM too. So when they get a ticket inside of Gorgias, usually they go and check the tracking number from Shopify and go back to FedEx website to know when the product is delivered, and they manually calculate date windows and find out whether this package is within the 30 days window or not, and they approve a return. In our case, so in this case, it takes at least 10 to 15 minutes to approve it, and then because the data is scattered across multiple platforms. So since we bring in everything in one platform, you could see everything in one platform. Say, hey, this if you click on the tracking number without even going to USPS or your shipping carrier website, you got to know what the package status here. And we also have a tighter integration with platforms like Gorgias and Zendesk. So whenever you get a ticket which is saying where is my order or anything like that, we automatically trigger a reply back to your customer saying that your product, this is what's happening with your product. So your customer support team don't need to spend time on redundant queries like where is my order or why it is getting delayed on all those things. And also, in addition to that, you can trigger your own email notification from our platform. I'm going to the notification setting. So these are the event categories like we have in our platform. You can trigger notifications for these categories from order received to deliveries, including delivery delay predictions and everything too. I'm opening a sample template here. Yeah, this is a sample template. You could see this completely very easy to use. Like you can drag and drop and have your own logo and product recommendations here. So this recommendation, again, as I said, like we directly get it from Shopify or your own product recommendation platform like Nostro to upsell your products to emails as well. In general, we noticed that like 60% of the people open order status email from order confirmation to delivered email. So interesting fact is generally most of the people like Shopify merchants send out order confirmation email. After that, there is no communication between the customer and the merchant. So by using ShippingChimp, you get almost like 5 to 6 additional touch points with your customers. Like you can send the in-transit email, you can send the out for delivery email or delivered email too. And in delivered email, what you can do is you can integrate with your JudgeMe or any other review platform. So when a product is delivered, you can ask for an instant review. It looks like the product is delivered, and what's your unboxing experience and anything like that, right? So usually Amazon does that. Amazon is sending a review email once a product is delivered within 3 hours, something like that. But generally, Shopify merchants are doing it like with a very fixed interval, like 10 days from the fulfillment date, because they don't have access to the delivery date. And so using our platform, you could actually solve that problem. And yeah, that's all about it. And we have integrations with variety of platforms like Gorgias, BigCommerce, DHL, Shopify, and every. So if you take any storefronts like Shopify, Magento, Commerce, we integrate with almost every other platform, and Helpdesk we integrate with Gorgias, Zendesk, and Freshdesk as well. So using our platform could be a very valuable addition for e-commerce manager or a customer support team as well. Say if you're a customer support team, if you spend more time on Gorgias, you get all your logistics information and real-time delivery information within Gorgias itself. So within the Gorgias sidebar, you get to know when a customer is emailing, you get to know, hey, what is the status of the current package? You can immediately respond back to that. And from an e-commerce perspective, you have additional 5 more touch points to communicate with your customers from pickup to delivery delays. And this could be a very valuable addition to your customer experience. Like generally, the customer is totally pissed off, and if they don't have any visibility as per the Adobe study, like the customers are not gonna be right. So that's all we overall solve. Like we help you to build a better real post-purchase experience with your customers and reduce your support expenses. So is there any question on that, right?
Thanks, Jagan. No questions in Zoom yet, but thanks for the time. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Blair.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, 2 speakers down. We are a little bit ahead of schedule, but that's okay. We are going to take a quick 5-ish minute break in between speakers. Now's a great chance to grab a drink, hang out in Discord, chat in Zoom, use the restroom, whatever you need to do. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with Jill from Inventory Planner. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Hope you are ready for more. We've got Jill from Inventory Planner. This is exciting. We shouted out last week, but Inventory Planner was just acquired by Bright Pearl, which is super exciting. Always fun to see those things happen in our community. I'm sure that means we're going to be seeing even more from Inventory Planner and the Bright Pearl team going forward. Jill is, I'm really excited to have Jill here. Jill runs marketing at Inventory Planner. She has a really cool background. She owned and operated a brand for a while before Inventory Planner and is like super well versed in all of the operational challenges that brands have. Excited to hear her fill us in on the Inventory Planner solution, and take it away, Jill.
All right, thanks so much, Blair. So yes, as you mentioned, I am a former Shopify merchant. And when you say I'm well-versed in what's going on with merchants, yes, I too have sleepless nights due to cash flow. So I can relate to that. And we're going to talk about what Inventory Planner can do to help. So as a little bit of background, I took over an existing brand, an e-commerce brand that started in the mid-90s. So very, very old in internet years, selling dog supplies. I was a professional crazy dog lady. Now I'm just sort of recreationally a crazy dog lady. So we sold treats, collars, leashes, toys, all the good stuff. And when I took over that brand, so we had customer sales going on, great, we have data, but we had no insight into what was going on. We did not know if items were priced correctly, if we had margins to support, rent and salaries and marketing and all of the other things that go into running a business. So that was really the first thing that I needed to do, was just get some insight into what was going on with the store that I was running, and looked for some reporting apps, tools, dashboard, anything, and came across Inventory Planner. So connected our store with Inventory Planner and really got some good insight into what was going on, good/painful. As one example, we found out our most popular line of treats that we were selling was so underpriced, it was actually below cost. Pro tip, don't ever do that. So we just needed more insight to see what was going on. We didn't have visibility into our company. So obviously needed to raise prices. We probably had competitors sourcing from us. That's why it was the best selling brand. So, that's really bad. Don't do that. But getting to Inventory Planner, seeing what our margins were, seeing what our best performing items were, seeing what's not selling well, and we can stop ordering those. That was really important. And then getting into some smarter recommendations of what should we be ordering, when should we be ordering, because we just had no system before, and our system would consist of walking around the warehouse, looking at shelves, trying to figure out what to order. So not a system. Inventory Planner is a better way. So we're going to get into a little bit about what Inventory Planner does. The overview is that your Shopify data, your sales data, product information will sync into Inventory Planner. Then you can customize the forecast settings, saying, for example, something is seasonal, or is it non-seasonal, or is it super trendy, and I want to be really on top of the latest trend. Tell us how long it takes to get items in, and then you'll get notifications on when to order and how many units to order to meet your customer demand. So I'm sure, as probably everybody on this call has run into supply chain problems, especially lately. When you're out of stock, you're losing revenue. And so this is really a solution to, first and foremost, make sure you're not missing out on revenue. Secondly, save time. A lot of people that I talk to now on the Inventory Planner side of things are using spreadsheets before they come to Inventory Planner, which definitely works when you're first starting out. You're accumulating sales history, you're building your product catalog, you're getting some data that can work for a while. And then as you scale, it's taking too much time. You realize that you're missing some things and missing out on revenue. So that's when Inventory Planner can really help. So let's take a look at what's going on. Take a look at an example. All right, so this is a live demo store that is available from our website. So if you come to inventory-planner.com, you'll see a live demo store here up on the right. Feel free to come in, play around, try and break it. Feel free. It's fully functional. So one other piece of information is that Inventory Planner connects obviously with Shopify. That's where we got our start, but also with 30 other platforms. So if you're also selling on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, other channels, then you can also connect those channels so that you can see all of your customer demand in one place. You can see all of your reporting in one place. So we're going to geek out on reports a little bit later, but taking a look at really optimizing your inventory, that's our bread and butter. So in this account, we've got a couple of Shopify stores connected. You can connect multiple Shopify stores. If you have multiple locations set up in Shopify, those will reflect as different, what we call warehouses. So you can see a forecast for each one of those locations and say, how much stock, when do I need to order for each location? We've also got a couple of Amazon connections in here too, so we can take a look at that. So in Inventory Planner, you can set up your lead time, meaning how long it takes to get items in once you place your purchase order, and you can set up your days of stock. This is your purchasing frequency, or you can also think about it as your ideal stock cover. So when I get a new order in, how long would I like that to last? So obviously these are really critical to getting good recommendations of how many units to order in order to meet that customer demand. And as I said, you can take a look at specific locations. So here, if we just look at our Shopify US store, then I'll see the recommendations for what's needed there. I can set a different lead time. Maybe this is coming from China and I need a 90-day lead time on this. That's all customizable per location down to the variant level. It can get very granular if you would like to. The great part about using Inventory Planner that can really level up your forecasting, if you're doing spreadsheets right now, is that Inventory Planner will start collecting your stock history. And that will improve your forecasting, because if you stop selling when you're out of stock, we don't want that period of no sales happening to pull down your sales velocity or what you're calculating as the demand from your customers. They couldn't buy anything. There wasn't anything available there. So what Inventory Planner is really trying to get to is when your items are available, how much your customers buying, because that's what we want to get to, so that you are not having those stockouts. You're really optimizing and taking advantage of all the demand so you can maximize your revenue and your profits. Okay, so that's what we're trying to get to here. So we'll forecast demand, seasonal, non-seasonal. Again, that's customizable down to the variant level. We'll look at how much stock you have right now, as well as anything on order. So anything on open purchase orders, you've already taken action on that. So we don't want to recommend that you continue buying. Obviously, we don't want you to overbuy. As well as if you're transferring anything between locations, we'll take that into consideration too. So all of that is driving these replenishment recommendations. So that's how we get the forecast. Then the day-to-day work in Inventory Planner is, let's say that I want to look at everything that I can order from my US supplier. So I'm going to add a filter. So I'm only seeing the items that I get from that supplier. Okay, so we've got our recommendations here. I'm going to select everything with these check boxes. And then down here at the bottom, new purchase order for all of these items. All right, so all of those recommended quantities that we saw on the last page automatically put into this ordered column here. You can see some that there's no recommendation to purchase those, and we're also getting an alert up here at the top, and it says, hey, we don't think you need anything. Great, let's take them off the purchase order. A couple other cool things that can really save you a ton of time. So when I was purchasing from, one of our best-selling lines, they had different case sizes for every single variant. So some came in 10s, some came in 25s. some in 15. So I was manually putting in what the case size was to make sure that my ordered quantity was divisible by those numbers. Super time consuming, and I screwed it up basically every time. And so the vendor and I are emailing back and forth, correcting the information. You don't have time for that. You're busy running a store. So in Inventory Planner, you can save what we call UOM, units of measurement. This is your case size. So for this top one here, let's say that we have to order this in multiples of 25. I'm going to add one more column here. All right. So we're ordering in cases of 25. We're going to get 14 cases for 350 individual units. You can always hover here and see what changed. So I manually entered that case size here, but this is stored in the catalog of Inventory Planner, so it can be applied automatically. You don't need to enter that each time. Same story with an MOQ with minimum order quantity. You can save that in here per variant. So let's say we have to order 75 of these. You can see this ordered quantity changed. And maybe that's going to be over ordering too much, so I don't want to get that item. I have visibility so I can make that decision and take that off the purchase order. Okay. One more thing. If your supplier only thinks in terms of cases and would be really confused to see 350 units when you're really trying to order 14 cases, you can pick and choose what information, what columns are showing here to show them. So I could actually take off this ordered column so that when I send this purchase order to my supplier, they're only seeing 14 cases, and you stand a better chance of getting what you actually ordered. Okay, so this is all customizable, and you can put this into the system. All right, so we're sending this to our Shopify warehouse. We've made all the changes we want to on our purchase order. Click Create. Great. From here, you can email the purchase order to your supplier if you would like to. You can also download it in a variety of formats. Here's the email functionality. We have the email of our supplier stored in here, so it populates automatically. I could make a message just for this vendor, and I could save it as a template, and then you can just pop back and forth between those templates. So again, really trying to save time on the purchasing process. So we've placed our purchase order. Let's travel forward in time a little bit to receiving these items. So there's a few different ways that we can do this. Let's say that we got all 350 table legs that we ordered. Great. I can just click this arrow and say, yes, that's what we got. The tabletops, some of them were damaged in shipping, and so we only got 30 of these. One other receiving option is here under receive, you can upload a file. So for example, if you're using a separate 3PL and you have a very long purchase order with a lot of items, you could upload that. But we have a barcode scanner option. So really just like any barcode scanner works. I bought the cheapest thing I could find on eBay. That works. You can just start scanning your items. This will create a list of those items and count how many of them. And so once you click save, then it will enter your receiving information. Again, click on save. Now we're going to see this button at the bottom that says increase stock in our Shopify store. So this is one thing that we add an extra step to that we made just a little bit more difficult so that you don't accidentally change your stock in Shopify, because that's a big deal. So when you click on this, you get to review what was my stock before, what's the update, what will it be afterwards? Yes, I confirm. Update selected. If we looked in Shopify right now, we would see the update instantaneously. If you go into inventory history on your product page, you'll see there's been a change. It'll say inventory planner so that you can see why that information changed. So that's our primary workflow when we've connected a Shopify store. If you're also selling on Amazon, we do mostly the same process through creating a purchase order, but then we can save it over to Amazon and it makes a shipment plan in Seller Central. So just a quick preview of what that looks like if you're connecting several different sales channels there. All right, so like I said, that's our primary workflow, is really making recommendations on what to purchase, then making the PO, sending it to your vendor, receiving, updating stock. But there's some other really great things in here. So all of the same settings that we saw with lead time, days of stock. In this case, we're planning out through January 26th. We want to have enough stock to get through that time. And when we're short, we're going to see a replenishment recommendation. But using these same settings, if inventory planner forecasts that we're going to have stock after this date, then we'll see that in the overstock report. So you'll see a column here, overstocked units, and you'll see this date. So we're planning out through November 11th, and here's how many units that we're forecast to have on that date. I can scroll over to the right here, and we're sorting them by the retail value. You could also sort them by the cost value, just knowing that with overstock, a lot of times we're discounting, so we're going to end up with revenue somewhere in the middle there. So you can make decisions on what that looks like. We've also got these labels over here, and you can connect Google Analytics to Inventory Planner and see things like low conversion rate, no page views, different things like that. You can see how overstocked items are. So some of these here are overstocked for 5 months, some for 18 months, which is actually the ceiling of our program. So we think we're going to have these items forever. So got to move them out. Again, going back to cash flow and sleepless nights about cash flow. I think a mistake that I made as a merchant was just holding on too much to how much I thought we should get out of our overstock and hanging on to it too long. But if you think about it as little piles of cash on your warehouse shelves, paying salaries or rent or marketing or any of your other expenses, you need to get it out the door into a customer's hands. They're paying you money for that in order to do something with it. So I think just take your sunk costs, dig into your overstock, liquidate that so that you can invest more quickly to more productive areas of your business, whether that is more productive, higher demand, higher margin inventory, or it's generating new customers through marketing, whatever that might be. So I think that the replenishment is really the fun part. It's where we start in figuring out how do we avoid losing revenue. But this overstock part here, really don't overlook that. It's really valuable in terms of getting your cash flow moving. All right, so I started out talking about how we needed help with reporting to figure out what was going on in our business. So a couple of reports that I would love to show you are this inventory KPIs report, super flexible. So we can view this by location, what we call warehouse, sales channel, this combined all. So this is our whole store. You can configure this within your account too. You can look at this in several different dimensions. We're bringing in product type, we're bringing in tags from Shopify, options. So all of those drop downs on your product page, those are syncing in too. So you can look at this on a lot of different ways. You can customize the date range and you can compare dates. So I am looking at last week compared to the prior week. You can keep stacking in those date ranges as well. So our largest account is a fast fashion store. They'll stack in 6 weeks at a time in order to see these trends. So what we're looking at here by category is, here's how many units we sold last week and then the prior week. And then here's the difference from 2 weeks ago to last week. And so you can get a high level overview and saying, okay, are things going in a good direction? Did we plan that way? Are we surprised? Let's dig in and see what's going on. And then, maybe I expected more of a difference here on this ladies category. So I just click into 45 variants. You'll see up at the top here, okay, we're filtering. We're only going to see the variants in that category. This is the product type field in Shopify. And now I can dig in and say, okay, why is this going down so much from week to week? I need to investigate that. So you have that insight into what's happening in your business. And again, this is fully configurable. We've got about 200 metrics, so you can pick and choose what you need to see here. Margins, discounts, returns, lots of different information here. So really valuable report. And then one other report I want to show here, especially if you're in fashion, not exclusively, but I think this is super interesting as you think about adding on new styles. So you don't have any history of how a new style has sold exactly, but you do have data. And so we're trying to get as close as possible with the data you have to figure out how a new thing will sell. So in here, we're going to come to option sets. This is, again, any of those drop downs on your product page, color, size, flavor, whatever that might be in your case. So let's come in and look at color. So this is some reporting that I used with our store in order to expand our product catalog. We had a similar selling product that we were going to basically create our own line of these dog vests. And so we had something similar, and we looked at how did the different colors sell of the similar item that we already had data on. And then we could say, okay, here's the proportion of the new style in these colors that we should order for that initial order with our vendor. And then we could see, okay, these last ones are really lagging. And so we don't actually want to order those. It's not worth our investment there. Okay, so so this is looking at Ben, I see your comment. We have a ticket open about this. Yes, let's come back to option sales. So yes, this is looking at the distribution of your colors here. Okay, I think my time is waning down, but I have one more thing that I want to get.
You've got 3
here.
minutes, Jill.
All right, we're going to nail the landing. Here we go. So open to buy. I find that the merchants I'm talking to either are basically experts in open to buy or have not heard the term, and there's not much in between. So what open to buy is high level financial planning so that you have enough inventory to reach your revenue goals. So let's break this down. In October, if we have a revenue goal of $1.3 million, we have to have inventory worth $1.3 million in order to get to that goal. We're not running a charity. People will not just donate their money. We've got to have the inventory for them to spend their money on so that we can reach that goal. This also takes into consideration how much stock cover you'd like. So do you want to have 2 months worth of stock cover on hand at all times, because we need to have more inventory than we're selling on hand at all times. And then this will make a recommendation for, okay, for each month, how much more inventory do we need to purchase? And this breaks it down. You can plan by category, by brand, or by vendor. Okay, so this is great if you're introducing a lot of new styles, if you are growing rapidly. This is a really great tool to help with your planning overall. All right, the end. So that was fun with geeking out on reporting and looking at optimizing your stock. Feel free to get in touch with me. I love to talk about this stuff, so would love to get into helping to optimize stock in your store.
Jill, that was incredible. Because we're a little bit ahead of schedule, I have time for a question. And it seems kind of timely. We're all seeing like stories in the news about cargo ships being backed up. Supply chain is crazy right now. What risks and other observations are you hearing from brands that you work with? And how can Inventory Planner help kind of leading into the holiday season when everything is a little bit wonky right now, more so than other years even?
Yeah, definitely. So all of those factors are leading into much longer lead times, very commonly 90 days or more for lots of brands I'm talking to. So I think, one tip as we head into the holiday, one is make sure that you're planning with the right data. Have you gone back to look at what the lead time is when you're forecasting, whether that's in an inventory planner or it's a spreadsheet? Things have changed. It's an understatement of the year, but make sure that you are planning for the right period. You're going into that and saying, okay, we need 90 days to get this in stock. The holidays are around the corner. So at this point, hopefully you've got a promotion plan, at least started, if not completed and in place. Think about, okay, if we're just not able to get this stock, what effect does that have on our marketing, and how do we shift things so that we're emphasizing things we do have stock of and we're not kind of missing an opportunity by promoting the same old, but not realizing we weren't going to have stock. So look ahead and just kind of, we're close enough to the holidays that you may have to accept that some things cannot get from China through the port of Los Angeles to your warehouse in time. Adjust accordingly on what you're going to be promoting for the holidays.
Incredible. Jill, thank you so much. That was awesome. Thrilled to have you here. And as Jill said, she will be in the Discord and Zoom chat. She'll be around. Any questions that pop up, we will make sure you get answers from Jill. Jill, thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, Blair.
No worries. Next up, we have Ryan from Mesa. Me and Ryan go way back, I'll say. I've known Ryan for years, co-founder and CMO at Mesa, also at ShopPad. You may know ShopPad. They have worked with over 100,000 brands across a variety of products. I won't say super recently. Mesa's been around for a couple of years, but have transitioned a lot of their efforts towards Mesa, which is a workflow and automation tool for right now exclusively Shopify brands. So think of it kind of like sort of like Zapier, but focused on all of the tools that you use every day to help kind of back office operations and all of that. I don't want to steal any more of Ryan's thunder. So we will let Ryan take it away and show you a little bit about how they can make your life easier.
Awesome. Thanks, Blair. Thanks for that intro. So yeah, Ryan O'Donnell, co-founder of ShopPad, as well as CMO for Mesa. And we've been around since 2012, when the Shopify App Store looked like a skeuomorphic bookshelf. So we've definitely have seen a few things come and go over that time. Like Blair mentioned, we've been working with more than 100,000 stores now with some of our popular apps like Infinite Options, Tractor. And today I wanted to talk about Mesa, which is our latest and greatest. And basically what you can think of Mesa as is just like life hacks for your Shopify store. So Mesa basically breaks down all the different applications that help run your business, from marketing, fulfillment, storefront, advertising, right? Turns them into little building blocks that then you can use within workflows. So the basic format varies. The basic format is simply when one specific thing happens, then go automatically do this other thing. And this works really well for some examples here, as like when an order is created, tag it with maybe the shipping speed or the fulfillment center that's closest to the customer. For timely things like Black Friday promotions, maybe schedule your promotion theme to go live on a specific date and time. Or if a shipment is late, maybe notify the customer, give them a discount code for their next order, perhaps. So why Mesa? Merchants use it for basically three fundamental things. One is to integrate their entire software stack. It allows business data to be pretty much anywhere that you want it to be. It breaks down the silos between the departments and those systems so that you can move more quickly and smarter than your competitors. The second way is basically to lighten the workload for yourself and your team. So we build a no-code editor within it so that it's intuitive for really anybody in your organization to set up workflows, regardless of what their technical background might be. So this allows everybody to sort of figure out just a better way to get their day-to-day jobs done. So once they understand how to leverage that concept of workflow automation, they can now start to free up those precious hours of time, which really start to add up over the course of a year. And finally, the third thing that Mesa is really thought about is really the missing expansion pack for Shopify. So there's literally thousands of things you can do with no clicks. It's really the thing that helps you eliminate that need to find that single feature app or hunt down a developer to write that custom code that then has to be hosted and maintained. And that's personally what I think is one of the coolest things about Mesa, is that now the back-end operations of running your business is as flexible as your online storefront. So it really now opens up how creative can you be? You know, what is it that makes you unique? What is it that makes or that your business functions require to help stand out? And so with the time here, I wanted to just show a few ways that some of our merchants have used Mesa to push their stores in different ways, especially as it relates to shipping and fulfillment. And so let me share my screen and I will walk you through some of these examples. Awesome. So I think you guys can see the App Store page here.
Yeah.
Let me just double check that I've got, there we go. It's the right tab. Always got to make sure of that, right? So, okay, one example, problem one. Very cool company called Mudwater. Their product is a coffee alternative, which is like a blend of organic ingredients. It's supposed to give you natural energy with a fraction of the caffeine of coffee. So this is a highly disruptive product to a market that is very familiar with coffee, right? So some level of education is needed. So Mudwater, what they found was when their product isn't brewed correctly, the taste might be off-putting to some first-time customers. And so within a short period of time, they found that their customers were actually canceling their subscriptions simply because they weren't using the product right. So they understood that what they were providing was a new experience, and they wanted to deliver sort of that virtual hand-holding experience for their customers so that they could make sure that they were enjoying the product as they intended it the very first time. And so they've, using Mesa, basically every customer received a text message at the same time that their order was delivered. So the timely text message contained instructions and videos for brewing the perfect cup of coffee, so that they made sure that that first experience was really perfect, was just magical, right? And so because they were able to deliver that contextual education at the exact right moment, they actually saw a 55% increase in repeat buyers. So who wouldn't love that, right? So let's look at walking through what building a workflow like that would be. So I'm going to just quickly jump over. This is Mesa. This is, as you can see, we're just on the Discover tab here. And what I'm going to do is just jump over to my workflows. Need to move my things out of the way here. I got thumbnails in my interface. There we go. So there's a few things we need to do to set this up. I mentioned we have this app Tractor for the order packaging and tracking. We have Shopify for the customer order. And then we're going to use Mesa, and Mesa has a number of built-in apps itself. And we're going to use an actual built-in app for SMS to actually send the text message. So let's look at how we're going to set this thing up. So we've got our workflow. Let's just call it send onboarding message upon delivery. And I can't spell because everyone is watching. So now we're in the workflow builder, so the no code editor here. And basically what we need to do is we have Tractor for our package tracking. So we're going to start our automation here with Tractor. And what we're looking for is simply when an order status is delivered. So we're going to go ahead and start with this trigger. And this is when this automation will start. But obviously with SMS, we only want to do this with orders that have a phone number. So we're going to jump over and just look at some of the built-in apps, and we have a filter option. So we're going to specify the filter. And this is where we can get, every step is configurable here, right? So in this case, we're going to say, this is a basic condition statement, and we're going to look and say, look, we want when order phone number is not empty, essentially. That's all we need to say. So whenever there is a phone number, we want to do something with that. So now that we have that filtered, all then we next need to do is add the notification piece. And like I mentioned, Mesa has some cool built-in apps for that sort of thing. Notifications are a really big part of Mesa here. So what we're looking for is just the SMS portion. And so we'll add that step for SMS. And we're simply going to say, well, where are we going to send this SMS to? And we're going to look and we're going to send it to the order phone number then. And really then all we have to do is add our messaging. And so this can be anything. And in this case, we'll just go ahead and paste that text for the message, and we're simply done here. So this can be anything. As the description here says, 160 character limit. There's other apps that we could do if we wanted to do even more with this, but all we have to do then is simply save our workflow and make sure it's enabled, and that's it. So if I collapse my view here, it's really just it's just this order status upon delivery. We're going to look for the phone number, then we're going to send them an SMS message, and that's it. It's pretty straightforward. So that's one that, again, Mudwater saw a nice bump in recurring repeat orders there. Problem two, let's look at this one. So a company based in Holland called Gladskin, they have a unique product, and their approach to skincare with their products targets unwanted bacteria that causes conditions like eczema and rosacea. So during the pandemic, like a lot of businesses, they had to face the new world with the shipping delay problems. And so the dreaded "where is my order" support tickets started to pile up. And now keep in mind, so these are products that Gladskin creates that are basically treating chronic skin conditions, right? So if a minor hiccup in delivery occurs, this is actually a big problem for the day-to-day lives of their customers who rely on those products. And so their brand began taking big hits because of those delays. And so they really wanted to act fast against some of these late order complaints. So let's look at how they address this problem. They basically looked at their customer support. Instead of it being reactive, they looked at and taking a proactive approach to get ahead of these issues. So for every late shipment, the customer would receive an email notification that they would be missing their expedited shipping window. And they actually took it one step further for their customers and actually ended up refunding those shipping charges. But by maintaining the level of service their customers had come to expect, they watched a steady decline in the "where's my order" support tickets, and they actually started receiving thank you notes for the clear communication, because now their customers can anticipate that perhaps my inventory at home is running low and I need to conserve it. And they appreciated that heads up so that they were able to give their product at home a longer shelf life. So how'd they do that? Let's walk through this workflow then. And with BFCM sort of right around the corner, this is probably something that will still be very relevant and perhaps very helpful for some of the merchants here on this webinar. So let's look at what that workflow looks like. And we'll say this is send an email if package is delayed. And so again, we're going to just use Tractor again in the first step, but really this could be done with most order tracking apps that you might use on your Shopify store. So I'm going to specify Tractor here. And really what I'm looking for is the fulfillment status is in transit, and I can see it over here. And so really what we need to then figure out is how long in transit is too long from the product that I sell. And so we're going to look over here in our built-in apps again, and we have a simple function for our delay. And in this example, I'm just going to say, look, if it's been in transit for, we'll say 2 days here, that's really too long for this particular product flow. And then what I want to do is I want to say, okay, so after 2 days, what I want to look up is I need to see those fulfillments. So I'm going to say, give me all those fulfillments, retrieve. And I want to get each one individually. So I want to simply get the fulfillment ID. And what I want to look up is I want to compare all the ones that are in transit versus the ones that are delivered. So let me just filter out all of those. And what I'm going to simply do is say, I'm going to look at the fulfillment status label, which is down here. So the latest status, and what is that label? And I don't want it to equal delivered. So I'm simply going to go down here, and I know that I've got statuses delivered. And so I'll simply select this token. And so as you can see, basically grabs those variables out of those particular apps. Now, if I was an advanced user, one pretty cool trick here is I can simply double click. And now all of this it reveals the liquid code itself. So if I wanted to get really fancy and actually code around that, I could. But again, that's pretty advanced. Those are things for advanced users. We don't need to drill too deeply into, but it's there. So we filtered out all of those fulfillments. And basically what I need to do now is go get the order associated with the ones that match. My tracking app basically say, go retrieve that order. And for each in particular one, I need to grab the ID for that order. So I'll simply specify getting that ID. And now I just need to send my notification. And in this case, like I mentioned, Mesa has a lot of notification options. It has a built-in email app. And so now I can specify, I'm going to send these people an email. And I can simply say, well, who is it going to go to? And I'm going to specify it's going to go to the email address on that order. And then I can customize my email message and say, your order is delayed in transit. And I can specify.
Ryan, just a quick heads up, you've got up to 3 minutes left.
Great. And I simply can customize my message from here. So again, save it and enable it, and we're good to go. So that's simply, and that for mentioned for Gladskin, that worked really well for them. A couple, I mean, there really are some endless scenarios. We can look at one more real quickly related to shipping and fulfillment that you might encounter. Product bundles is a popular way to make your store stand out from the crowd. But what happens when like the SKU of the product that's in the cart is actually associated with multiple SKUs in your warehouse? So say you have a camera, there's a case and a shoulder strap. Somebody buys it. So there's the camera SKU, there's the case SKU and the strap SKU. And so when somebody places that order, you know, how do you break that out so that your back-end warehouse needs to fulfill that order? So we'll just call this kit bundle real quick here. And so this one would simply start with Shopify. And what we're looking for is order created. And this really comes down to, order created, yep. And then what we're gonna do is iterate over our line items of the order itself. Whoops. And I didn't add, what I need to do is simply add a filter here. So we're gonna filter each order that comes in upon created. And I'm going to look for the SKU. There's my SKU. And let's just say it equals something like that. That's the SKU that I know is my camera. And then from there, I'm going to iterate over the line items of that order. So I simply specify the order from which I was looking at. And then this configuration has the simple, what product do you want to add? So in this case, maybe it's the strap. And I can specify that I want to add the variant. If there was one, the quantity, I could notify the customer at the time if I wanted to, but I don't need to. And that's pretty much it. So if there was multiple, I could simply do this multiple steps over. All I need to do now is save it and I'll enable my workflow. I could simply test this as well. But those are a few examples I think that would be really helpful for the holiday season as it relates to shipping and fulfillments. I mean, at the root of everything, you know, Mesa is really here to capitalize on the apps that you're already working with. You know, your day-to-day is filled with the work that you have to do. Mesa is here to help you focus on the work that you want to do. And as you can see, there's a lot of templates and apps that it already works with. So based on what you have on your Shopify store, it will see those and it will recommend, hey, here's some workflows that might be beneficial to you. So really, you know, the creativity is endless here. We have dedicated customer success team. They're actual people, not bots. They're focused to help you craft the right workflows. So whether you need help with figuring out what's even possible or just getting help getting those workflows set up and configured, they're there for you. I would reach out to them, ask them any questions you might have. You can certainly find us on the App Store. We're exclusive to Shopify. So we really understand the ins and outs of businesses running their online storefronts with Shopify. And this isn't anything that's plus specific. This is down from basic to plus merchants who really want to use automation in new ways and find new clever ways to work. So thanks for listening. Hope somebody here learned something that's useful for the holiday seasons. And you can find us in the Discord or simply drop us an email anytime. We'd love to chat with you and learn a little bit more about your business and what you're trying to do and automate. So thanks.
Ryan, that was incredible. Thank you. Me and you were catching up yesterday, and I was asking a question that I've been asking kind of each speaker about, like, what metrics do brands think about when they're using your app? And I mean, with Mesa, that's a tough one because it does so many different things, but you had like a really interesting answer around time saved and helping operators kind of do what they want to do. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, everybody does discovers workflows as valuable for different reasons. Time saved is an easy one because there's so much just manual work that people hate doing with their day-to-day operation. So, if they're able to eliminate a few tasks from their day-to-day that they were normally doing manually, that's huge. We had a customer that found themselves saving over 40 hours a week, which was massive for them. That's a person, that's a hiring role. That now it can be spent and repositioned elsewhere. And now that they can really start to look at their business and hiring needs differently. We have another customer that found and used Mesa to generate draft orders to go capture taxes and sales that they were otherwise missing. So Mesa ended up having some real bottom line sales revenue value for them. So Mesa, from one hand can save you time, but then in other instances, they were very clever in ways to actually find ways to make money or find money that was otherwise being missed outright entirely. So it really comes down to, how you think about running your operations and finding the most efficient way to do that. And the benefits will really kind of come from that, whether that's time saved or actual revenue generated, or perhaps just reducing the debt of code and overhead of just managing all these different systems that you might have for your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think many brands started their brand hoping to spend a bunch of time wrangling tools and stitching them together.
No, businesses found, one thing that's very evident is, Mesa allows you to get back to the work that you as an entrepreneur wanted to do in the first place. Like I said, there's things that you have to do on your day-to-day that's part of running your business, and it sucks and no one wants to do it, but it has to get done. And so if Mesa can take care of that, which is great because computers are better at doing computer work than humans. So if you can eliminate that, that lets you get back to doing the creative strategic work and figuring out what is that next step to grow your business. And I think everybody as an entrepreneur wants to get back to that, and they would all agree that they don't have enough time for that. So it's not just the time saved that's very valuable, but it's the type of time that's saved and the type of time you're given back as a business owner or a department lead or an entrepreneur. I think everyone would agree that there's not enough time spent thinking about strategy and too much time spent in the weeds of things. So
yeah, absolutely. Ryan, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks. It was great.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay. Wow. Time for the last speaker of the day. We have powered through. Going to be ending a few minutes early so everybody can get back to their days. But before we go, we've got Quentin from Shipper HQ. Shipper HQ is a super interesting company. They are sort of this all-in-one shipping solution. I think shipping is complicated enough that a lot of brands end up stitching together a bunch of solutions to cover kind of the broad array of issues and situations that end customers find themselves in. Shipper HQ is kind of one of the only tools that I know of actually that sort of does it all. We're lucky to have Quentin here. He's the COO there, works with brands every day to help them solve their huge variety of shipping issues. Here to tell us a little bit about the many things that Shipper HQ does. Quentin, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Blair. I appreciate the intro. And let me get my screen shared and then we will get rolling. So thank you to Blair for the great job today. For everyone who stuck through and made it to the end, congratulations. Shipping is very boring, but shipping is always better before lunch. So that's a fact. Write that down, put it in a stone, chisel that. Also want to thank Andrew, Rev, Jill, and Ryan for also carrying the torch of shipping. You know, it's not a fun topic to talk about. It's a bit complex. So I'm always appreciative to see other people do that. So let's talk about Shipper HQ. So Shipper HQ, we are an app that is focused on the cart and checkout experience that customers seek, particularly around shipping. We've been in the space since 2008. Our company started because our CEO, Karen Baker's husband, actually sold online in the UK. We're also UK founded. In 2008, she was on a maternity leave and they were selling on marketplaces before. And he sold these like a little electric, I still don't know what, I've worked here for 6 years. I still don't know what they're called. They're like capacitors or something. And he was selling them on marketplaces and they started getting knocked off. And there was the allure of, why don't we make a website? And Magento was a beta thing that had just come out on the streets in the UK. Karen is a technologist, made a website. It was like, awesome, cool, we'll sell on here. When she got to the checkout, she realized that you can only show one shipping rate at a time. And you know, even in 2008, that wasn't a good experience. So as most technologists do, you find a way around it. So the next weekend, had a beer or two, wrote some code and gave out something called matrix rate. So matrix rate just gives the ability to show more than one shipping rate at once. And I don't think at the time she realized that would become a company. Fast forward to now, we are a all-in-one tool for many e-commerce platforms. And we love our friends over at Shopify. So why am I here? I'm Quentin, the COO. As Blair said, I focus a lot on dealing with merchants about strategy, specifically around what we're going to talk about today. Really about like, what do you do? Like, what is a shipping strategy? So there's 3 questions that I will ask, and the 3 very important things you want to think about is, do you want shipping to be red or black? Do you want to make money or do you want to lose money? You can go strategically either way. There's customers that will absolutely take a bath of shipping, but be the cheapest or be the most expensive item in the store, or it can be in the black. That's the first thing you all want to think about. The second one is, do I have the options that I would want as a seller? Is the checkout that you're making something that you'd want to shop at? Stupid question, but one that I don't think people ask enough. And then the third one is, am I outshining my competitors? You know, everybody's got a competitor. What are they doing? In the case of some customers, Amazon is a competitor, and Amazon, and the biggest differentiator they have is the ability to show when an item is going to arrive. You know, one of the things that Jill mentioned, and I think Andrew alluded to as well, is that we are going to run into some supply chain issues. And the last thing you want to deal with is a mom, a dad, a brother, a cousin, a sister who's ordering the item, you know, the week before because they forgot, and they're pounding on your door saying, hey, where the hell is my, I don't know what kids have these days, Game Boy? You know, where is this item at? Why is this not here? Please help me, for the love of God, I need this. It's something that happens a lot. So one of the things that you can do to combat that, and actually to not just combat that, but to give better expectations, is to focus on showing a delivery date in the cart and checkout. Now that's a simple ad. It sounds super complex, and we'll actually walk through how we're going to do that. So better than talking about it, I'll show you a customer and tell you all a story. So in Austin, Texas, where I'm based, cowboy boots are big, and Tacovas is even bigger than that. So Tacovas is a Shopify Plus store that started out D2C. For anybody who knows, cowboy boots are usually pretty expensive. What they did is they cut out the middleman and started selling direct to customers. And when they were selling direct to customers, the one thing they wanted to have a competitive advantage of is, when is that item going to arrive? Because they're trying to negate people that are going to go to the store, try them on and figure it out. So they knew that, hey, if we can show when that item is going to arrive and we're going to have a really good return policy, we can win here. And they have. And very interestingly enough, they've now moved into brick and mortar. So they have a fantastic store about 15 minutes down the road from me on the South Congress location, where you can go try your boots on. This is not a Tacovas ad. But all that being said, you know, what you see on the website is boots, jackets, and everything else that's there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this jacket in the checkout that I just keep kind of toying with if I actually want to buy it or not. I just debate, you know, I'm a Texan, but I'm not like a Texan, and I just don't know if they're going to let me wear it. So just pulling this up, and what we're going to see here is a experience that every single person can have on your store. Ta-da! I can see that my item can arrive to me on the 29th, the 30th, or also the 29th. So there's 2 different layers of logic here to look at. The first layer of logic is that delivery date. That's a delivery date that's based off of the APIs from the carriers and the blackout dispatch delivery dates. Take all that stuff Andrew was talking about before. Think about that. All of that same shipping logic is what we use as well to say, hey, the items can't ship out at this time. Hey, the cutoff time is this time. All of that logic that a merchant has, that's focused on. The second thing that's really interesting here is that you'll notice for those last minute shoppers like myself, the free shipping is actually the 29th, just like the next day is. So what we're able to do is show to customers when those items arrive and say, hey, if you live close enough to a warehouse, a ground method could get you there in one day, just like the next day can. So this really helps the customers as well on your website to save themselves from price gouging, that $78 next day shipping if the warehouse is right up the road. It's one of those ways, those small little things that add together to help fight that cart abandonment that we're all, at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to combat. So that's what this looks like. I know that a lot of people, when they see that, they go, yeah, cool, that's great. I don't want to implement that. I don't know how to custom code that. We're not going to get into the liquid or anything like this. Tacovas actually was a customer that we saved from that. So they custom coded a few things in their checkout because they sell snakeskin cowboy boots. The fun fact of the day, folks, is that snakeskin cowboy boots cannot be sent to California. And they were rewriting that in the liquid and changing the SKU. And somebody added a dash to the SKU and then it wouldn't trigger. And so they said, hey, what about using Shipper HQ? We can just use a carrier rule. And we've been partnering and working together since. So the next thing I want to show you guys is just what this actually looks like on the back end. Like, how do this actually work? Or what does this actually look like? So we're going to jump into a Shipper HQ dashboard. We have our 15-day trial up there, as you see. If you have any questions, give me a shout. But it's pretty, I think dashboards are all kind of the same. We all have our problems, but ours has ours as well. But so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our advanced features and we're gonna enable our delivery date and time. So we're gonna tell Shipper HQ is, hey, we want to use this. Let's get this going. I've got my FedEx carrier in here already set up. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna pop in here and we are going to say we want to show a delivery date. You have your checkouts here. You go to show a delivery date. This is when you can start adding in your inputs and variables. Your cutoff date for same day dispatch, the max days goods can be in transit. Perishable goods are really my favorite vertical, not because I like to eat them, and if we do a good job, they send them to us, but it's because it's a very tricky and nuanced part of the field that we field and do really well at. But that same logic isn't just applied to a perishable or to a pair of boots. This goes to anybody who's really trying to diversify and anybody who just really wants to give the customer the experience that they want. If you think back to my second point, is this somewhere where you'd want to shop? I wouldn't want to shop on a website if I can't see when the days are. And I think that's just because that's how we've been conditioned, correctly or incorrectly. That's just kind of where we sit. So to close on this, to go back to our 3 rules, red or black, I would say that that is completely determined on you guys. For your shipping strategy, it's really important and it depends on what rates you have negotiated with the carriers, what rates you might plan to negotiate with the carriers. Use your volume to your advantage and talk to a lot of people, talk to as many people as you can. The second one is say, is this the options I would like? I'm a huge fan of using my mom to prove things because I assume if I can get my 60-plus-year-old mother to like something and appreciate that, it's a pretty good litmus test. So ask your friends, ask your family, hey, what do you think about this? You don't need a shipping method, a next day method from the 3 major carriers. You just need one next day method from the carriers. Make it the cheapest one. Rate shop, show one, keep it clean. And the last one is I'm outshining my competitors. It's really important to pull inspiration from those around you. And it's really good to make sure that if somebody is going to shop on a site that you are losing business to, see what they're doing, learn something and apply that. There's a lot of talking that I just did, and I probably went short. Sorry, Blair. But we are offering a free shipping consultation as part of this. So if you guys have any questions around date and time, how to get that up and running before Black Friday, which everyone has time to do, give us a shout, and we are more than happy to answer those questions.
Quentin, that was awesome. Shipper
Thank
HQ
you.
does like so much. We were talking before. How does a brand know that they might be a good fit for Shipper HQ? Like, what problems are they specifically encountering, either with their like existing shipping solutions or they're looking to adopt their first one?
Yeah, so there's definitely so every e-commerce website usually has that one issue, that gotcha, if you will, like, I can't get past this. So our feature set calls out to each different person, whether that's, I ship freight packages or I ship that. So generally a feature is what kind of brings them in, and then we start building the value past that. but there's not any particular thing. I think if I had to say one on Shopify, for example, our dimensional packing algorithm is great, because for these carriers, all you really have to send them is the weight of a package. And it's really annoying because it could be a large, light item. And that's when there's something called the dimensional divisor that can really, really kick your butt on your shipping rates. And then as the merchant, you actually, you end up holding the bag on that and add that cost. So that's one of the things that we see a lot of value on Shopify.
Incredible. Thanks so much, Quentin. Really
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that concludes our scheduled speaking for not only the day, but this series of webinars. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, everybody who attended the last 3 weeks, all of our speakers, the rest of the organizing team, Kaz, Rish, Deb, Roddy. A lot of work went into this, and I think it's bittersweet. I think we're probably happy to take our foot off the gas for a minute, but also sad that this is over, but not really over. We're going to be doing the ebook. We'll be reaching out to everybody, speakers, bringing in some new partners to get everybody more content. And I think maybe Deb will give us a day or two to rest before we start planning the next webinars. We'll see. We can dream. For everybody who hasn't joined the Discord yet, please jump in there. We are going to be keeping that going. All of our speakers are in there. So experts across kind of everything that we talked about. Yeah, I don't know that I really have a whole lot more to add from that, aside from just, yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Deb, anything I'm missing there?
I mean, I just want to say thank you to all the partners, to the merchants that participated in this 3-part webinar series. For us, this was really about the option or the opportunity for us to really connect with merchants in a different kind of way, where there's just so many apps in the App Store today, and there's a lot of competition, and there's a lot of nuances that your app brings that sort of makes it hard. You know, I'm a marketer, I'm marketing 10 apps, and I know those nuances really make or break how the customer interacts with your app and how they get the most out of it and how they can move the needle on their business. And so for us, showcasing that for all of you merchants that have been a part of this 3-part series was really just to help save you time, save you money, and for you to be able to optimize for the highest conversion and the best possible experience between you and your customers as well. So we hope that you got the most out of that through this webinar series. And like Blair had mentioned, we do have an ebook coming out, and then around the holiday time, we're going to be doing some hot takes. So stick around for that. And thanks again for being a part of this experience. Kaz, do you have anything that you want to add before we close out?
No, just very, very excited about the ebook that's coming up. I think that'll be very, interesting. We'll round up a lot of, all the cool things that all our amazing, lovely partners have spoken about. So hoping to get it out, as like a takeaway gift for all our merchant friends soon. And thank you all partners. It was so amazing. For just being around and all the great little snippets, and for all the hundreds of decks and slides that everybody made for Deb.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed at the lack of decks this day, so I don't know who was responsible for that, but we'll be having conversations afterwards because I didn't see a single slide.
And yes, Quentin, it's a shout out to Rish. Rish is doing an amazing job on handling the Zoom for sure.
DJ Rish in the house. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you, everybody. We will be in touch to all of our registrants about the ebook, and we will also keep you in the loop about the next events. Join the Discord. We'll see you there. Thanks so much, everybody.
Peace out.